What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. We might be seeing the decline of Russell Wilson as an NFL quarterback because ever since he got traded to the Denver Broncos, he has been struggling this season. Now, I heard that Russell Wilson, when he got traded, not only did he get this huge contract, but he got his own office for a guy that doesn't work in the office. Now, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but I believe he got an office. Denver traded all these different picks to get him. They traded players to get him, only for Seattle to get more out of the deal than Denver, at least right now. But I don't see it changing, because here you got Russell Wilson getting yelled at by one of his teammates on the defense, Mike Purcell. Mike Purcell was frustrated coming off the field, so he got in Russell Wilson's face. Now, we don't know exactly what he said, but he probably said, I'm paraphrasing where he could have said. But if I knew what Mike Purcell said, I'm going to assume Mike Purcell told him, you MFers on offense need to play better, because the defense can only continue to be the best part of the team for so long. You think the defense likes going out there and be, when you get three and out, interception, fumble, because the offense was fumbling a whole lot. And they got rid of Melvin Gordon, but they may have gotten rid of Melvin Gordon because Melvin Gordon may not have liked Russell Wilson. There's clips of him, seemingly feeling some type of way about Russell Wilson. And now Melvin Gordon is gone. Is Mike Purcell going to be next? Because if Mike Purcell gets released or traded, we all know it's because of him getting in Russell Wilson's face. Even though Russell Wilson is saying there are no hard feelings. Of course there are hard feelings. This team feels very divided. And you need to be a leader, Russell. Isn't that what you was when you were in Seattle? Weren't you a leader? When Marshawn Lynch spoke out about certain things about Russell Wilson, there were people that were criticizing Marshawn Lynch. They were criticizing Richard Sherman. But what about the Denver Broncos? They're a new team, and they may not like Russell Wilson. So again, are we going to continue to ignore the fact that there's something wrong here in Denver with Russell Wilson? So let's get into this article. This is from Bleacher Report, because this thing has gone viral. Denver Broncos star Russell Wilson downplayed the significance to what appeared to be a testy moment with teammate Mike Purcell. Wilson told reporters after the 23-10 defeat to the Carolina Panthers that he and Purcell are on the same page and that there's no animosity there at all. Of course he's going to say that. But let's get to the video.
I don't know if something was said, if Russell Wilson says something. I care about this.
Now, again, you look at this video. Let me turn it on. Now, you look at this video. And I was like, damn, Carolina's whooping their ass. Carolina was kicking their ass, man. But I will say this about Carolina. Even though Carolina, they switched coaches. Their former coach, now he's going to be the new coach at Nebraska, where he actually belongs in college because he's a college coach. And they got Steve Wilks. The Carolina Panthers are playing well for Steve Wilks. He definitely should be interviewed for the job. But looking at Russell Wilson and where he is, that defense is tired. The offense is tired. Not only is the offense tired of Russell Wilson, the defense is tired of Russell Wilson. And again, this ain't no conspiracy, people just hating on Russell Wilson. That is not what it is. There may be two different sides of Russell. There might be the Russell that we see, and there might be the Russell that we don't see. There might be two different sides of Russell that we don't even see. And Russell does need to play better. He does need to work harder to build a camaraderie with his teammates. because this is the type of thing that can destroy a coaching staff and a team, because they're talking about firing their head coach who just got hired. Purcell addressed the incident as well. He said he was generally frustrated and looked to motivate the offense with the team trailing 20-3.
Frustration. We want to spark on something. We all in this together, period. So, that's the quarterback of our offense. They're about to take the field. Obviously, we let up a touchdown, so we weren't doing our job, but got to get a spark somewhere. So they're about to take the field, so that's all it was. No, I just got the penalty on field goal block. I was frustrated for everything. We didn't do our job on defense. I had thoughts from them. They ran the ball, and it's just not good enough.
So that was, if y'all can hear him, that's what Mike Purcell had to say. He's frustrated. That whole team is frustrated. But with stuff like this, when this happens, because you never see defensive players get in the face of offensive players. You never see that on this. I'm not saying it never happens, but not to this level. I could see if Russell Wilson was some undrafted rookie or second-year guy that is put in to play quarterback and he's being horrible from multiple games, and you're like, hey, let's light a fire under him. But this is Russell Wilson. This guy won a Super Bowl. He has a huge contract. He's married to Sierra. You know what I'm saying? He has this brand. And you as a defensive lineman are getting in this guy's face. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that, I agree with what he did, because I don't. If you have an issue with somebody, you need to handle it in the locker room. But they can't handle it. When you down 20-3 to Carolina, who was considered to be a bad football team that fired his head coach, and you're losing 20-3, that would frustrate anybody. That will make people get at each other. So I can understand it from that standpoint. I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand the frustration, because again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what Russell Wilson's behavior is behind the scene. We don't. Wilson and Purcell's post-game comments after a plausible narrative. Emotions can boil over when a team is on its way to losing its 8th game. Purcell may simply have been trying to light a fire under Wilson and sputtering offense. For those watching, however, it was a moment that carried a larger significance. Now, this is Orlando Franklin. He played for the Denver Broncos years back. He says the locker room is 100% divided, and now we could see it publicly. That exchange between Purcell and Wilson will be all over social media, talked about for the next week. If you weren't going to fire Hackett before, it's pretty much impossible not to now after that. Hashtag Broncos country. Well, the coach is always going to get the blame. You hire an offensive coach to come in and coach Russell Wilson, only for Russell and the offense to continue to struggle. You're letting players go from the offense. It just looks to me that they were going to put all their eggs into Russell Wilson's basket, because they believed, and this is why I told y'all at the beginning of the video how this could be like the decline of Russell Wilson. I'm not saying that he's going to be horrible after this, but they may end up having to get him another coach to coach him. This offense has no identity. None. The players don't respect Russell Wilson. Mike Purcell can say he's lighting a fire on Russell Wilson, but Mike Purcell doesn't respect Russell Wilson. That's the problem. He has no respect for him. When a player doesn't have any respect for you as a starting quarterback, how long do you think you're going to be the starting quarterback of that team? Now, again, I told y'all, Mike Purcell could end up gone from that team. If Mike Purcell is gone, then you already know why. The organization is like, you're not going to talk to Russell like that, and we don't want this on our team. But it ain't just Mike Purcell. It's a lot of guys who feel the same way that Mike Purcell does, who are frustrated like Mike Purcell is. You brought Russell Wilson in to be somebody who you can finally have as your starting quarterback. You feel like he's elite. You feel like he's a leader, but he's not. A defensive lineman doesn't get into the face of his quarterback to hype him up if he had respect for him. Because if you had respect for him, you leave him alone. You think people getting into Tom Brady's face, Aaron Rodgers' face, Patrick Mahomes' face? Are they getting into Trevor Lawrence's face? And he ain't even been in the league, 2 years? They getting into Russell. This guy won a Super Bowl. This guy has a huge contract. This guy is considered to be very valuable as a player, but look at what's going on here. It's just, I don't know how they fix this. You can fire the coach all you want to, but if you don't find an offensive system that's going to work for Russell, because I think Russell wanted to be the man in the organization. That's why he couldn't stand being in Seattle, because Pete Carroll is the face of Seattle. I think that bothered him because he wanted to be the face, but you're the face when you win. You know, maybe he felt like he would be listened to more in the Broncos organization. They weren't listening to him enough in Seattle. Well, you have the listening ear of the Broncos faithful, and nothing is happening. Now, again, you can't fix everything in 1 year, but this is the pros. This is the pros. You can bring in players. You can release players. You have a year to prepare for the draft. This is not good for Russell Wilson. I don't care what anybody says. So let me say in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.